Welcome back. Protests have been going on across the country. Of course, the anger of all of it started from West Bengal, from Kolkata in particular, but it has spanned across the country. And amid mounting pressure from protesting doctors, Mamata Banerjee government has now announced a slew of measures for working women in night shifts. That's right. These including creation of safe zones with CCTVs and rest areas with toilets for women, ensuring presence of women security personnel or volunteers. Breath analyzer tests. The Bengal government has also announced the launch of a mobile app named Ratri Sati, which in English means a companion at the night. The app essentially aims to help women in distress make a direct SOS call to the nearest police station. The scheme proposes that women should work in pairs or teams. It also says that night duty for women may be avoided wherever possible.
Wherever possible, night duty may be avoided for women to the extent possible.
All right, and I'm being joined at this point by Kia Ghosh, who's from BJP, Asif Ansari, who's a political analyst, Khushbu Jain, who's a lawyer with the Supreme Court, Dr. Malvika Sabharwal, who's a senior gynecologist and signatory to the letter to the Prime Minister. Thank you very much, all four of you, for joining us. Dr. Malvika Sabharwal, to you first. You're a senior gynecologist and a signatory to the letter to the Prime Minister. I have to ask you this question. How do you look at these recommendations? Not just recommendations, these are the advisories that have been brought out by the Mamata Banerjee government at a time when doctors are protesting, demanding for measures from this center to ensure their safety and security. And let me just jump to one of the two biggest things. People may say that I'm trying to pick up one or 2 points, but let me just start with this straight. To say avoid night duties for women as much as possible and work in teams and pairs. As a practicing senior doctor, how do you look at this?
Very important suggestion that we have to work as a team. We cannot do a single person night duties. We want a more safe environment. We definitely want CCTV coverage. We want the guards right there as we work through the nights. And of course, night duties cannot be avoided. You look at us, I'm a gynecologist. We've been working for 30 years now, more than 30 years actually. So we have seen violence, which has really increased over the last few years. There was a time when the doctors got the up, they were so respectful. It was a very, very respectful profession wherein everybody was accepting whatever you said. Today, they look at you with full doubt. They come in mobs. They want to, whether it is in the OPD or in case there is a mishap which happens in the labor room or the operation theatre or managing an emergency in the casualty. Everywhere, they come in mobs and they try to just violate you, which is so disrespectful. And after having gone through the whole rigmarole of MBBS, etc., it is not fair. So I think, we must understand that night duties are essential, especially in the field of gynecology and even otherwise. Everybody needs at all 24/7 full coverage. But we can work in teams, there is no doubt. We should have protection. And in case there is a violence which is checked by people, they should be the lawmakers, the people who are actually in the judiciary. They should definitely make sure that law is given to them, it is taken into hand, and they should set a precedence by actually punishing them.
So
we don't
when
see
the
that
government
happening.
when the government says, and this is the top bureaucrat of the state, the government's face, who's coming out and saying, avoid night duties as much as possible. Which field today can really afford that? And isn't saying something like that itself putting the entire onus of women being in the workforce on women? Even today, women are struggling to find equal pay, equal parity. They're trying to find their way up in higher echelons, and then you have a directive, something like this, that says avoid night duties for women as much as possible. My question is this something that's possible in the medical field? Genuinely.
I do not think so, because being a gynecologist, I can understand that all patients need you at all odd hours. You have emergencies which come on, whether it is ectopic pregnancies, whether patient delivering, and you know that these are the patients when they come in emergency, they have lost a lot of blood, and you need to be there to give them care. It has to be the right environment which should be provided by the government, number one. There should be safety to all the doctors who are there, and they are putting their best. They must understand that a doctor who wants to give the best should be able to do so, because that is what it's been your passion. You have strived for that, and you are ready to do the social work. But it should be having some kind of a measure. You know, the government, the lawmakers, the policy makers, the people who are actually the law enforcement people. They are the ones who should get involved and make sure that not only if there is something like that, a precedence can be set by making sure that these people should be put into punishment. The rightful punishment should be taken and should be enforced, so that the others will not do that.
Right.
Today, the doctors are just not being taken care of.
Right.
And we are actually feeling very, very insecure. And therefore, this letter was written and was sent to the highest authority of the country. It is very, very sad.
Right.
And
okay,
I will really appeal to them again.
With Khushbu Jain, who's a lawyer with the Supreme Court. I'll try and connect with her as well in a bit. Let me know if she is back with us. But Asif Ansari, to you, Asif Ansari, you've heard Dr. Malvika Sabharwal speak. Do you even want to respond to her? Do you want to respond to scores of women who have this question? When the government is coming out and giving an advisory saying there should be more CCTVs, there should be more restrooms and so forth, and all these are welcome measures. I think every measure mentioned was welcome. Where does this thing get inserted? Night duties for women wherever possible?
Well, good evening to everyone. Just I like to put one thing in a mind that what the doctor had just said, that it will just stop women for coming into a workplace. Let me speak to you about the social behavior of a man. You just tell me why a woman is being affected and why she's always targeted in a gender-biased world. We always try to put a practical...
No. I'm sorry. I very strongly disagree with you. A woman is not only being targeted. In this case, a woman was raped and murdered. But you have violence against doctors across hospitals, irrespective of genders. You have male doctors who are targeted as well. You have male doctors who are slapped as well, who are beaten and thrashed by patients or families as well, who are threatened as well. So it's not just women. I'm just putting a point on point.
Let me complete my point. Let me complete my point.
Please.
Why this is happening in any part of the time? When a person is in a minority, that gender is always been targeted. Either it's a woman or a man. If you see in the police personnel, if you go see the ratio, my point is that opportunity, the equal opportunity should be given to a woman, that the equal proportion should be always there. If there is a 10 ladies doctor and there is a 10 male doctor, say me the chances of who is going to be defeated, who is going to be targeted. This is the point. This is not only a point that the West Bengal...
Your point is not coming across to me, but I will go across to the other panelists and ask them if they can get a point out of you. Khushbu Jain, I'm just wondering if you have been able to understand the point that Asif Ansari was trying to make at this point.
See, my only point over here comes is we cannot have such a regressive policy. The aspect that we look today is the state to enter and create a secure space for men and women so that both the genders, irrespective of their gender, feel secure and safe. We talk about women in workforce, we talk about that we need more women, more inclusivity at the higher space. And at the same time, we bring in such policies, which itself shows that the state is incapable to make sure that there is a security on roads, there is a security in other places. So this policy actually, I would look at it in a manner that this shows that how incapable or what are the shortcomings of a state is, if I have to put it very forward to it. One side you should put it, you should have more mandates. The policy which should have been looked into is no black spots in the area. There is no dark spots in the area. More of a stringent policies when it comes to enforcement of the laws, when it comes to law enforcement agencies available every place. Use of technology right now when it comes to public spaces. Apart from that, next step that goes is implementation when it comes to judiciary, that let those punishments be very stricter and been punished very severely and should come across. So I feel that the state, along with law enforcement agency and judiciary, has a bigger role to play rather than making a regressive policy right now, telling women that
Ma'am,
you
just
cannot
one
work, you're not
question. So,
equal right
the
now.
panelists here, as well as others, are saying, let there be equal representation. Let there be nobody working in a minority, or let there not be one or two people like a women in a bigger team of men. At least that's what some people seem to suggest. Is that practically possible? Is that practically possible in, say, your area of expertise as a lawyer in the court? Do we have equal representation among gender?
See, when you look into courts, we have good representation when it comes to gender in the court. You will see that even when it comes to appointment in the Bar Council of Supreme Court, we've got so many women there. If you look into the senior designation which Supreme Court issued list, last three list, if you see the number of women who have been designated as senior counsel are also huge as compared to what we compare it with men. So if I look into my profession, yes, that's growing and there is an equal number of things coming in, not just the entry level, but at the judiciary level, at the senior counsel level, and also when it comes to executive committees of bar councils. So I'm seeing a parity coming in there. But at the same time, what point of yours, I will take a step forward that let there not be one or two, let there be equal representation of women everywhere. Let's not talk about reservation of one women in the seat so that we bring in that gender inclusivity, but let there be an equality there as well so that equally both the stands can be put across. And at the same time, we should say that it's not just who has to put across that what women need. When you talk about gender equality, when you talk about women empowerment, it should be the men who should be the one who should be vocal and should be tasked to do things. Let's hope for that environment. But these kind of policies actually put a mindset that go 20 years behind or maybe 40 years behind of what we are today.
Okay, I'll just go to Asif Ansari for that in a bit. But Kia Ghosh, do you want to quickly respond? You are a woman politician. Do you have the option of choosing what time you work?
A very pertinent question you've put across to me. The real thing is, Mamata Banerjee, in her blatant attempt to cover up her faults, cover up her flaws as the chief minister, as perhaps the only woman chief minister across the country, now she's trying to, put chain across the women's feet. This is a highly misogynist statement. Now tell me, is it possible, like Dr. Sabharwal very correctly pointed out, she said, is it possible for a doctor to differentiate between the timings, because she's on a duty, any doctor, she's on a duty, she could be on emergency duty, so it's like, okay, she will be turning into a Cinderella, so it's okay, it's 12 11 midnight, now it's high time, I should leave. Is it something that once a female patient, next is what, a female patient, they wouldn't be admitted in the night because Mamata Banerjee's government supposedly fails to provide security to them? Is it something that Mamata Banerjee will say that, okay, no female patients would be admitted in the night? Please, day in and day out basis, you are free to go home at around 6 to 7 p.m. because we fail to provide security. And the next day again, you come for admission. Next is what? Or Mamata Banerjee herself, being a woman chief minister, like you asked me, she will fail to or cease to function as the woman chief minister post 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. because it is her police whose callousness has led to this kind of horrific incident. So it is a highly misogynist statement. Rather than putting a chain on women's feet, she and her administration should concentrate upon providing the facilities, like Dr. Sabharwal said. What about the CCTVs? The government itself has submitted in the High Court that no, we failed to provide 100% CCTV coverage in all the hospitals. This is the dismal situation. So,
let me just get in Asif Ansari to answer you. Asif Ansari, do you want to answer the Kia Ghosh as well as the other panelists who have spoken on this show? Isn't the job of the state government of the center to ensure that there is law and order in place, that there is safety in place to work, irrespective of gender? I mean, right now we are discussing about women and men, but that's not the only binaries we talk about. And here you are actually putting the mandate that let the women not work night shifts as much as possible. What's the responsibility of the government?
Ma'am, exactly. There will be a different type of questions will be coming in. But the fact is that the guest who is talking about, they did not know the scenario of the past 10 years. If you come to the Bengal, what the medical condition has improved, you will not, you just find the of the IMD, the Indian Medical Association, what the standards upliftment has happened in Bengal and what the government hospitals have come up, the level of government hospitals, the provided of medical amenities has been given. It is a world-class medicine has been given. And
No, I
this
don't
incident which
understand
has
what you're
happened
saying, sir,
today,
because if you are saying,
this,
look at the level of
ma'am, what
medical standards in West Bengal that are being provided, if you are saying, and then you are saying that women not do night shifts, you're worsening your strength and
it
your
is
ability to
madam,
function,
this
sir.
is
I don't
no,
understand
this is
this.
to this is to gain the confidence of a woman. So they what is done cannot be undone. At least we should have some
How?
preventive measures that
How?
it
By
cannot
saying that
happen
you
the
can't
next
work in
time.
the night? Is that how you
No, no,
gain the
you should.
confidence of a
No,
woman?
it is. No, no, it is not like that. There should be a collective. There should be a collective discussion on this. I am a person. Asif Ansari is a person who write for the woman empowerment. Just you tell me one thing: a man who is been naturally physically emotionally stronger than a woman, it should be given a more burden of the work rather than a woman. If a woman is given a 10 hours to work, a man should be given
Asif,
a 14 hours of the
Asif
work.
Ansari, Asif
These
Ansari,
are the
please do
social.
not speak anything but science and facts. Asif Ansari, I have called you, I have invited you as a panelist, but I'm not going to allow you to spin stories and make believe facts. These are not facts. Please speak science and facts. I don't have time left. Kia, I know you want to interject at this
Madam,
point, but please allow me.
that is
I
a
don't
problem
have
with
time left on
actually,
this
ma'am. That is
panel.
a
I will allow
ma'am. That,
I will allow Dr. Malvika Sabharwal to answer last as
give
a
me
last right of
one more minute
response.
to speak.
I
Sneha,
apologize,
can
Miss
I
Kia.
please
I know you
10
want to.
seconds?
One more
I know I
minute
Can
to
I
should be
speak.
please
coming to
get
you.
10 seconds to respond
Okay,
on the
Kia,
One
ten
light
minute
of
to.
seconds. Kia,
Ansari?
Miss Kia
Only one
Ghosh,
more.
10 seconds. Miss Kia, 10 seconds.
Please ask the world-class facility which Mr. Ansari is boasting about. Even Mamata Banerjee doesn't claim it. Mamata Banerjee herself, she admitted
All right.
that in
Okay.
the leading
Okay.
hospital,
I don't have
SSPM,
time. Dr.
her
Malvika Sabharwal,
feet
I'm
was
handing
not
this over
treated
to
well
you.
and it
There's
got
a
infected.
gentleman here who's
Also
saying
asked why
men
does
are
Abhishek
emotionally,
Banerjee travel
physically,
abroad for his
intellectually
eye
more
treatment?
stronger than women and they should be able to do the bulk of the work. I could answer a lot to this, but Dr. Malvika Sabharwal, I hand this over to you as the last comment. You're a doctor, you know more about this than me.
Thank you very much, Sneha. And I'd really appreciate for you to give me the mic because I'm absolutely against what Mr. Asif said. There is no question. Women as a, when you say Janani, it is only a woman who can do the finest of the jobs in the best manner. And you just want a safe environment so that you can give your best. You can do your utmost for the mankind only in a safe environment. And that's the only thing that is needed. And we must understand women. I'm a gynecologist, but I'm speaking from even other whether it is medicines or casualties or anything, they are the ones who need environment and they should do the night duties. And why not? It's the state and the center which has to be responsible for giving them that environment by providing them toilets, by providing them separate duty rooms, whether they work it together or not. The duty should be there and to work 24/7. There's nothing like having just the day duties. Why should we go regressive? And I think Khushbu Jain also said that. I fully agree to all that she said, that we need safe environment. We can put in our best and we are capable probably of doing better than men. I'm sorry, but that is what we see
I
in our
just leave
day-to-day
it at
practice
that
as well.
because it's not about women being capable. I just believe one thing. Everybody, every human needs to be given the platform to be able to perform.
Absolutely.
To say that one gender can outsmart the other on the basis of
No way.
XYZ reasons is not the India that 2024 would like to live in. Definitely not the India we women want to be working in, and definitely not the kind of advisory that we would want to be part of either. As an anchor, I usually don't take a stand, but Asif Ansari, I'm really sorry. With all due respect, I don't think I could buy any of your arguments. Thank you very much to our
Madam,
viewers for joining us,
madam.
and thank you very much to all of our panelists for joining us as well. Thank you very much.